that you found time to honor our invitation to come and to see for yourself our country and our continent that has changed over nearly 4 decades since the last UK Prime Minister visited. And we're glad that you brought with you a high-powered delegation of business leaders whom we look forward to engaging with later this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya and the United Kingdom have a long history of friendship in speech, in government, in finance, in outlook, and in all our interests. We still show the influence of our strong history. Because of this, our priorities ought to be clear. We all wish to prosper together, so let us also do business together. We have democracy in common, and we need to defend it together. And as for our common enemies, such as terrorism, we need to fight them together. As government, we have held meetings with the Prime Minister and her delegation. And as I said, later today, we will be meeting business leaders from both sides at a business forum. Prime Minister, the bond of friendship and cooperation between our two countries has been deepened today with the signing of a number of agreements. One is a security compact that has led to increased support from Britain with equipment to enhance border and aviation security, capacity building and information sharing between our two countries. The second is the framework on the return of assets from proceeds of corruption and crimes in Kenya. Some of you here may already be aware that we signed a similar agreement with Switzerland, and we are now glad that the UK is also fully on board. This is because fighting corruption is an important aspect of my own legacy program, together with the unity of the country and the attainment of our Big Four centered around investment in housing, manufacturing, security, food security, and universal health. Depriving people, therefore, of the proceeds of their crimes is one major detriment against this vice, and we are determined to make it painfully unrewarding and expensive to get involved in corruption in Kenya. As I have said, this fora and others, there is no turning back in Kenya on this agenda. We've also had the opportunity to discuss other matters of bilateral interest, including market access to the United Kingdom for Kenya after Brexit, and we welcome the Prime Minister's assurances that the current duty-free quota for Kenyan exports will continue after Brexit. We also discussed around the UK and broader Commonwealth issues, and we indicated that Kenya will be pressing for an increase in exports on the basis of a fair market arrangement with a view of a mutual win-win arrangements within the Commonwealth. We also agreed to continue cooperation in security matters and in the war against terrorism. And as you know, this is an area where both the United Kingdom and ourselves have worked closely on, and as a result, we have seen a diminishing of terrorist threats in our region that still remains vulnerable. We also welcome the United Kingdom's commitment to support AMISOM, and we call on other members of the international community to also support this important mission at the vanguard of security in our region. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also speak on our shared commitment to grow opportunities for our young people from both our countries. And in Kenya, we have committed to increasing opportunities with our vocational training colleges, and we have asked the United Kingdom for support in ensuring that this remains a success. With a huge youthful population, our focus has to be ensuring that our youth remain to be a dividend for our country. Lastly, I take this opportunity to also encourage British investors to look at the opportunities with our Big Four program. They are indeed immense, and considering the returns from markets such as ours, any investment here is guaranteed to benefit both the investors and ourselves. These opportunities are also there within our blue economy, and we have also agreed on how the United Kingdom can support our Blue Economy Conference in November this year. But let me say that these will include issues around landing facilities for deep-sea fishing, shipbuilding facilities, fish processing, packaging facilities in various parts of our country. So once again, Prime Minister, let me thank you for taking time to visit us in Kenya, and we look forward to continuing to strengthen our relationship and partnership between our two countries. Welcome, Prime Minister, and once again, it's happy to have you with us.
Thank you, Mr. President, for hosting me today and for your very warm welcome to Nairobi. And I'm delighted to be paying my first visit to Kenya, indeed the first by a British Prime Minister for 30 years. Like the many thousands of British tourists who come here every year, I'll take away unforgettable memories of this country's vibrancy and its beauty. And Kenya holds a special place in the hearts of the British people, and our countries share, as you have said, a long history that has left us deeply connected to one another. Indeed, of course, it was here that our monarch learned she would become queen. But the relationship we hold is about much more than those deep historical ties. And today we've looked to the future, to a renewed partnership that will unlock the incredible potential of the next generation to benefit both our countries. And we've agreed to build on the strong foundations of our relationship as we step up our cooperation to secure the prosperity and security that our people need and deserve. We discussed today how the UK can work with you as you take forward your Big Four agenda to transform Kenya, aligning our expertise, our investment and our aid behind that vision. The UK is already the largest foreign investor in Kenya, and I've set out this week our ambition to be the G7's #1 investor in Africa by 2022. So as Britain prepares to leave the European Union, we're committed to a smooth transition that ensures continuity in our trading relationship with Kenya, ensuring Kenya retains its duty-free, quota-free access to the UK market, and to building on our strong trade and investment ties to create even more opportunities for our businesses and for our consumers. Mr. President, yours is a country of huge opportunity, in a continent of dynamic young people who have the potential to play a transformative role in driving Africa's growth in the years ahead. Together, we will make sure the next generation of energetic, ambitious Kenyans can get good, well-paid jobs so they can contribute to Kenya's long-term prosperity. That's not just good for Kenya, it's good for the UK too. And we'll work with you and with governments across Africa to make sure your young people have the skills that business on the continent need to drive economic growth. This is a partnership for opportunity, but it's also a partnership for our shared security and stability. And today we discuss the work we're doing together to make both our countries and the world more secure. Already, British terrorists and child abusers are in UK jails because of our cooperation. This afternoon, we have signed a new compact that will see us expand our joint work on security even further. The UK is no longer just training our own military in Kenya, but training with Kenyans to promote stability in East Africa and beyond, and to build the continent's capacity to overcome its own challenges and deliver its own security. And later today, I will see our militaries training together in the techniques to identify and destroy improvised explosive devices. The UK continues to support the commitment of the brave Kenyan soldiers fighting in Somalia against Al-Shabaab. And I will announce a new package of funding to support the African Union mission in Somalia. And Mr. President, I was glad to hear you call for a transition from peacekeepers to stronger Somali security forces. This is what the UK wants too. And as we work towards this, we're leading international efforts to ensure AMISOM has the funding it needs to support its vital battle against terror. We also spoke about the pernicious effects of corruption in Kenya, and I welcome the commitment you've made to drive this vice from your country. We stand with you in this fight. And today, as you say, we signed an agreement to ensure that any proceeds of corruption in Kenya that end up in the UK will be given back to the Kenyan people and spent for their benefit. I also welcome, Mr. President, your commitment to political reconciliation in this country. The UK stands ready to support an inclusive building bridges process as you work to further strengthen your democracy and your institutions. Mr. President, as I conclude my visit this week to some of the UK's most important African partners, I've reflected on the role my country can play in partnership with this vibrant continent in the future. As I've said this week, I want to ensure that the UK's relationship with Kenya and with Africa is more and more about private investment, about doing business and making the most of commercial opportunities together. Here, as elsewhere in the continent, we're using our aid and our investment partnerships to lift countries out of poverty, spread stability, and create jobs and prosperity for the future. The UK and Kenya are two strong, diverse countries. We are partners in the Commonwealth and global hubs, open to the world. We thrive because of the entrepreneurship and innovation of our people, the strength of our democracies, and our shared values. Our cooperation today makes our people safer, more prosperous, and more secure, here in Kenya and in the UK. Mr. President, I will leave Nairobi excited by the huge opportunities of Kenya and of this continent, and I look forward to working with you in the years ahead for the benefit of both our countries. Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen of the press, you'll have the opportunity to ask the President of the Republic of Kenya 2 questions from the Kenyan media, and then the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom will also receive 2 questions from the UK press. We will begin with the Kenyan press. 2 questions, please, directed to the President of the Republic of Kenya.
Good afternoon. My name is Leila Mohammed, and I was hoping to address both the Prime Minister and President Uhuru Kenyatta. Welcome to Kenya, Madam Prime Minister. When Margaret Thatcher came to Kenya, the Land Rover was an integral part of Kenyan society. And when I speak about the Land Rover, Britain was a very big trade partner with the country. Now, things seems to be waning. Do you feel by coming to Kenya at this particular time when Africa is looking more into East and Asian countries, especially China, for trade and development projects, do you feel like you're catching up, or you're rekindling your business interests within Africa? And President Uhuru Kenyatta, you have just been from the United States. You're today hosting the United Kingdom, and you will be heading into China. How will you balance between your traditional partners and your future prospects looking east? My second question to you will be, Kenya will be looking to become a part of the United Nations Security Council, and they will be looking into Britain, the United States, and China, who are key partners within the United Nations. Will you be seeking the United Kingdom's support when you will be going for that vote in 2019? And Prime Minister Theresa May, will you be ensuring that you give Kenya that all-important support when their time comes calling on your door? Thank you.
You want to go first, or should I?
You go first, I'll go.
I think starting with your last point, which is our candidacy for the Security Council. Yes, indeed, we have requested our British friends, as we are requesting all our friends across the globe, to support us in our bid. As I have said severally, Kenya and our contribution to peacekeeping, not only in our region, but across the globe, is well known. And therefore, we believe that we have a useful contribution to make, and we are appealing to all our friends, including the United Kingdom, to support us in our bid. I think the second question was to do with the United States, the UK, and China, and others. And Kenya firmly believes in the multilateral trading system. We are keen to seek friends across the world. We have always insisted that Kenya is open for business with all on the basis of win-win arrangements that are mutually beneficial to all parties. And this is the basis of the discussions and we have had with the Prime Minister today, as with President Trump, and as we shall continue in China. We need to cooperate a lot more on these issues and to get greater understanding. And Kenya is saying that we are looking from investment across the world to help us achieve our social economic agenda. And that support is not coming, indeed, as the Prime Minister herself has said, is not just that we're going out with a begging bowl. No. What we're saying is that Kenya has an attractive investment destination. The agenda that we have prioritized as a country, based on the big four: housing, healthcare, food security, manufacturing, all leads itself open to opportunities for foreign companies to invest and to get good dividends while helping us equally achieve our social economic agenda, especially with regard to the creation of jobs for our young people. So I don't think there is a problem, and we will continue to look for partners across the globe to help us achieve our agenda as a republic. Ma'am?
Thank you. If I may also take the second question first, as regards the seat on the United Nations Security Council. The UK never reveals how we vote on these matters, but what I have discussed with President Kenyatta today is how the UK and Kenya can work more closely together in cooperation as we see the lead up to that vote taking place. On the question of trade, the trade links between the UK and Kenya are already strong, but we want to strengthen them further. As I've said, we're committed to ensuring that Kenya will retain duty-free and quota-free access to UK markets as we leave the European Union. We want to enhance our trading relationship. Once we're outside the European Union, we'll have the opportunity to negotiate these trade deals on behalf of the UK rather than as part of the European Union. But what is important, I think, for long-term growth, for sustainable jobs for the future, is that investment is about the private sector. And I think the UK brings a unique combination of capabilities and capacity. Yes, we use our development funding to support, but we also have a vibrant private sector which is already working with businesses here and investing here in Kenya. And we see greater opportunities for British businesses here in Kenya in the future. The capital markets of the City of London, the professional services, the expertise that we have. We bring all these to bear here in Kenya, and will do across Africa, to ensure that we see those sustainable private sector investment that brings long-term growth, long-term jobs, and long-term prosperity.
Okay, we had invited 2 questions from the local press, and Laila took all the 2 slots, so we move on to the United Kingdom.
UK, is Lewis here from Sky?
Mr. President, if I can start with you. You've talked about the possibilities of new opportunities with the United Kingdom and Kenya post-Brexit. Could I ask you, do you think that a trade deal is likely, a new trade deal, not just an extension of the current arrangements between the 2 countries? And if so, is one of the demands that you will have in those negotiations greater access to the UK labour market through new visas? And Prime Minister, if I can ask you as well, I asked you the other day whether you thought that Britain would be more prosperous, more powerful in the world as a result of Brexit in the short to medium term. I know that you're going to say that you think there are opportunities. I know that you're going to say that you're executing the will of the British people. But I'd just like you to be quite clear now, in a yes or no way. Do you think that Britain, in the short to medium term, will be more powerful, more prosperous in the world as a result of Brexit?
Shall I go first on this one?
Exactly.
Lewis, I'm tempted to say, if you know the answer I'm going to give to your question, why are you asking the question? Because there are indeed opportunities, but we're also, I think what is important is a lot of focus is on the trade opportunities around the world, but what we see is global Britain, an independent Britain outside the European Union, working with countries around the world, working in multilateral fora, but also working in bilateral cooperation, not just to improve prosperity, but also to improve security around the world. And those are the opportunities that I believe are available to Britain outside the European Union. We're pursuing, of course, a good deal for trade with the EU once we've left the EU, but we will be looking to enhance our trade relationships around the rest of the world as well. And that, we believe in free trade. Trade is important. It is trade that brings benefits, that brings economic prosperity, that brings innovation, that brings development in economies. And it is trade. Trade isn't about one country doing better than another country. Actually, trade is mutually beneficial. So investment here in Kenya will be good for Kenya and good for Britain as well. Mr. President.
Thank you. I think on my part, as I indicated in my own statement, that the discussions that we have had, the Prime Minister has assured us that Kenya will continue to have access to the UK market on a preferential basis that already exists. And of course, we are also seeking to see how we can even improve trade between our two countries. Britain is and has been our largest trading partner for a long time, as well as one of the largest investors in Kenya. And of course, we look forward to deepening that and strengthening that and broadening it as we move forward. And as we have said it, and the assurances that we have also been given, I don't believe Brexit is going to dent our ability to further strengthen and deepen both trade and investment between our two countries. And again, as I said in my statement, working together under the umbrella of the Commonwealth to see how we can even utilize that organization that pulls together people of shared values, shared systems, to see again how we could take advantage of that to improve trade, fair trade, across the Commonwealth countries. So I don't see Brexit meaning anything detrimental towards the strong trade ties that we already have, and I've said that we are seeking to actually boost that going forward.
The second question, is Dan Martin? Do I see Dan? Yes, Dan, I think there's a microphone behind you.
Hi, Prime Minister. President Macron says that the EU should offer Britain satellite status. Is that the same as a vassal state, yes or no? And do you agree with Nick Timothy that Chequers is the worst of all worlds and that Britain should push for a deal more in keeping with what the public voted for? And President, the British Prime Minister hasn't visited Kenya for 30 years. Are you disappointed by that? Do you think we've neglected you? And do you see Brexit as an opportunity for African countries?
Again, if I go first, in relation to delivering on the public vote, the British public voted to leave the European Union. We will be leaving the European Union on the 29th of March 2019. They voted to bring an end to free movement, and that's non-negotiable. Free movement will end. They don't want to be sending vast sums of money every year to the European Union, and we won't be sending vast sums of money every year to the European Union. They want to be out of the common agricultural policy. We'll be out of the common agricultural policy. They want to be out of the common fisheries policy. We'll be out of the common fisheries policy. And we'll be out of the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice. So we will be delivering on the vote of the British people. The Chequers deal that we've put forward, I believe, is a good deal for the UK, but also a good deal for the European Union. It ensures that we can maintain a good trading relationship with the EU while having the freedom to negotiate trade deals on our own behalf around the rest of the world. It ensures and doing that means we can protect jobs and livelihoods, but the Chequers deal will also deliver on ensuring that we have no hard border between Northern Ireland and Ireland while maintaining the integrity of the United Kingdom. So Chequers delivers on the Brexit vote. It does it in a way that I believe is good for the UK. Obviously, we're in negotiations with the European Union, but I believe our proposals are not just good for the UK, but they're good for the EU as well.
Thank you. Yes, it's been 30 years plus. I don't want to dwell on the past. I'm looking to the future, and we welcome the Prime Minister today, and I'm sure, and as we've discussed, this is the first, hopefully, of many more visits in the future. And we are looking forward, like I said, to strengthening the ties that we already have. Despite the fact that there hasn't been a British Prime Minister, there has always been constant high-level engagement between our two countries, between our two governments. And all we are seeing is this now being reinforced. And I won't say it's just because of Brexit, because we're not only just talking about trade, we're talking about security, we're talking about partnership and various issues at the multilateral level, at the UN, support for our United Nations headquarters that is here in Nairobi, support in various other areas as well, education, defense. So these have been there, and what we're saying is that we want to enhance these, and without a doubt, the presence of the Prime Minister in Kenya on the African continent will go a long way towards creating that surety that the United Kingdom is a long-term strategic partner, not just of Kenya, but indeed of Africa as a whole. So this is what we seek to enhance.
If you allow me, Your Excellencies, please. We were able to see Britons talk, 2 of them. So allow me to allow one Kenyan again to speak and ask one last question with your permissions.
Thank you. My name is Sam Gituko. I work for Citizen TV. And first, to the UK Prime Minister, you are talking about maintaining the preferential trade space for Kenyan market, but exactly now you leave the EU in March 2019. When do the discussions begin to ensure that the traders who've been supplying goods and services in the UK do not suffer during the transition period? And for President Kenyatta, talking about the repatriation of proceeds of crime that are held in the offshore accounts within the jurisdiction of the UK, do you have an idea how much it is, or even an estimate, and what would it take in the UK legal framework for the Prime Minister to really repatriate such kind of resources to the country?
Want to go first again?
Shall I go? Yeah. In response to the question about the trade discussions for the future relationship with Kenya, those discussions have already started, and we're looking more widely as to the relationship and transitioning relationship as regards East Africa, but we're very committed to ensuring for Kenya that that duty-free, quota-free access is maintained. So we've already started those discussions. We can't formally put into place any future trade agreements. There's a legal issue about our relationship with the European Union, so there's a point up until which we're not able to put that into place legally, but we continue through the implementation period to operate on the same basis. We're looking to transition arrangements such that there is continuity. That's what's important for business, what's important for traders, that people have the confidence of knowing what the position will be and a continuity of the current arrangements, so there's no cliff edge, no sudden disruption to their trading arrangements. That's what we will deliver, and that's what we're discussing already, and we're looking forward to bringing those discussions to the conclusion that delivers what we all want to see.
With regard to the repatriation of assets, as you know, and I stated again in my statement, that we have a similar arrangement with Switzerland. We've had a similar arrangement with the jurisdiction in Jersey. Now we have it with the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland as a whole. I cannot state the exact amounts. I think that's something that the Attorney General can address himself to at a later stage. But without a doubt, we are already beginning to see some successes. As last year, if you recall, the Foreign Secretary then, Boris Johnson, the bicycle guy, that one. Boris Johnson was here with ambulances, and these ambulances were bought courtesy of funds that had been seized, returned, and utilized to buy ambulances which were distributed across the country. So I believe this only strengthens that, and it strengthens the ability of our two countries and our legal systems to be able to work together to ensure that any assets that may have been acquired in the United Kingdom that are associated with corruption or any other such crime are successfully returned and put to use for the benefit of the people of the Republic. So in terms of quantum, maybe you can address yourself to the Attorney General, but as I said, it is already working, given that we have already begun to receive and utilize these assets from Jersey for ambulances that are already working for the Kenyan people. So I believe this can only just strengthen that and increase the amounts that we get back.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, and that marks the end of our press briefing. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.